All right, so this is dry. I did some things without videotaping. I took some epoxy, my old epoxy. It's a 206 West epoxy system, and I mixed it with a bunch of dust from sanding both the paddles and this, and kind of put together, if you will, a filler. And so that's where I went through, filled all of the little gaps, so forth through here. However, I got a bigger problem with all these insect holes, which I'm actually really excited about because I'm going to take some crushed turquoise in an epoxy resin, and I'm going to fill all these holes with that epoxy resin. So we're still in the filling phase, but I do admit I really enjoyed not having to fill all the nail holes. I think doing it with the bungee cords, granted it takes a much more time, a much longer process. However, just to see the beauty of the wood without all of those holes look fantastic. I've been watching some videos of some other people and their canoes, and you can really see all of those staple or nail holes. Again, that was my whole goal, was not to do that. And the bungee cords made a huge difference. So here we are, first couple weeks of May. It's taken quite some time in order to do it, but I've also had temperature issues here in Colorado, so that's been part of the problem in terms of the gluing process. We're going to build another one starting probably next week. But let's start working on sanding. One of the things that you probably can't see in the video is I haven't sanded this portion right yet, and you can really tell of the slats in there. However, on this side, I'm not sure if you can see it or not, it's almost like the pieces have melted together. You don't see the seams anymore, as long as you have all of that tight compression when you're putting those wood strips together. If you have gaps, you're going to see it in through here. But I really do like the look of using the bead cove and then using the bungee cords in order to get a nice fluid wood grain pattern. So let's get some sanding, and then we're gonna pop this off. I've already popped it off once in order to see if I could separate it. And then we're gonna tip this on the side. We're gonna do blue tape on the bottom so that the epoxy resin doesn't go through. And we're gonna fill all these little insect holes. That's gonna look really cool. All right, so I don't mean to be a little anxious, but we did go ahead and pop it off of the forms. Does take a little bit of work, working from the ends, especially when you've got some prying to do. And you'll notice how with the glue, some of it, even though you have it taped, still gets stuck. But luckily, this is why you put tape, maybe even a little bit more on the edges in order to get it so that it really pops off. The reason I was kind of getting anxious to do this is with all of the insect holes, I need to be able to tape the back side or the bottom side. I was able to get to some of it when it was still upside down, but I want to do a better job making sure I get it all and I can see before I start doing the epoxy turquoise. And the other thing is I need to be able to rotate this so that everything is settling down rather than having it drip off to the side. So there was actually a couple of reasons why we popped it off in order to do that. I'm getting really excited about this, but I've got a lot of scraping in terms of glue in order to get this and sand it as well. A little bit more work on the outer shell, but I want to work a little bit on the inside shell before the new epoxy comes this Wednesday. And then we'll lay out the fiberglass to see if I've got enough. If not, I'm gonna have to make another order of fiberglass in order to get, I think, probably the inside to finish this. So we got some work to do. All right, so we have popped it off the mold. We're working on the inside of it as well as the outside. I did get, like I said, a little anxious, so we've been working on filling. Used the turquoise in order to fill in a lot of these insect holes. I've done it on this side and a little bit what I had left over here, but there's still down here a lot of insect holes that we need to go through. So we're gonna work on that today. Again, I'm not gonna bore you with that. It's just a simple little mix, add your drops, make sure you stir really well and then start packing it in. And like I said, on the bottom side, we do have tape, painter's blue tape, in order to try and keep it from running through. It gets pretty thick, so it's not too bad, but I did notice where I had some things drop through last night. I must have missed a hole. So let's get to work.